If you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
On today's Compliance Tip of the Day, we look at questions a board should ask a chief compliance officer, the metrics they should seek, and then how a board can leverage those metrics going forward. The Telefonica Venezuela FCPA enforcement action once again reminds us that third-party risk management is one of the, if not the most critical part of a compliance program. For Board of Directors, effective oversight of third-party risk management is essential to fulfill its fiduciary duties and ensure a company mitigates these potential threats. It's more than simply reviewing policies and procedures. It's asking the right questions of a CCO and demanding specific information. So what are the 5 questions that a board of director, or rather 7 questions a board of directors should ask a CCO? Number 1, what is our third-party risk profile? This foundational question helps a board understand the scope of your third-party network and the inherent risks. 2, what are the due diligence processes in place? What are your specific due diligence processes? 3, how do we ensure continuous monitoring of third parties? It's not enough to perform due diligence. You have to continuously monitor. 4, how do we address identified risk, i.e., how do you clear red flags? 5, what training and awareness programs do we have in place? The board should ask how compliance trains on relevant laws and policies in regard to third parties. 6, what is our process for reporting and escalating third-party compliance issues? Knowing that issues will inevitably arise, how do you escalate or how they escalated inside your organization? 7, how do we measure the effectiveness of our third-party risk management? What are the key metrics for third-party risk management oversight for a board? Number 1, the number of third parties by risk category. How many do you have? 2, what are the percentage of third parties with completed due diligence? Tracking this metric shows the company is adhering to its own policies. 3, what's the average time to complete due diligence? A long turnaround time can delay critical partnerships. 4, incidents of noncompliance among third parties. Boards should be regularly informed of compliance incidents involving third parties. 5, percentage of high-risk parties monitored regularly. How many do you look at on a regular basis? 6, training completion rates for third parties. Have third parties completed their training? 7, average time to resolve third-party compliance. How long does it take to clear a red flag? And 8, costs of your third-party compliance programs. What is the financial commitment your company has made going forward? This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The Compliance Tip of the Day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional materials.